Okay, now it's good. Go ahead.
You're good? Mm-hmm. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. I am Carla at Bienstock, and tonight we're doing Italian. And I've got my lovely Joshua to help us do the recording. So he's on the iPhone. He's going to follow me around. So I thought the one thing that people always ask me is, how do I make the Italian sauce? So how do you basically put it on paper? So I had a really hard time. So I borrowed some stuff and then added my own stuff. So at least you have some kind of ingredients. It's not coming from my head. Okay? So we're going to be starting with sauce first, because usually the sauce needs to be cooking for an hour before you put it on the lasagna. So we'll do the sauce first. At least get that started. Then we're going to do the minestrone soup second, and then we'll do the lasagna third. So we have exactly an hour. It should be enough time for us to do all three. And again, questions, concerns about Cora and Nava online to throw questions at us, and we'll be able to answer. So if you are following along today with me, we're going to start with an onion and garlic. So the trinity, onion, garlic, celery, and carrots. Was a quadruple, please. So we're going to do an onion right now. So you're following me. And just do a regular onion. I'm going to get rid of this knife because it's bothering me today. And we're going to open it. And we're going to dice it. So if you're following me, I have no idea how many people are following me today. If anyone can give us an indication that they are following and cooking along with me, please put your hands up so that Cora and Nava know. Okay, so we're going to sit here and we're going to dice the onion. Doesn't have to be perfect. It can be roughly done. Remember, Italian cooking is really nice. You can just do it nicely, and we'll just put it into the pot. Okay. And, oh, by the way, everything is dairy. We're not doing meat tonight. Okay. And for those people who are dairy intolerant, you can not do dairy. You can just do a carb, but the sauce is carb. There is no butter in the sauce. And also this sauce can be added the meat if you want to have a meat sauce. I would do meat first, ground it, take it out and do the vegetables, and then you add the meat with the tomato, just to give an indication, because you can do a bolognese if you wanted to. And this is a Southern Italian Sicilian sauce that I'm making. And we're going to put the whole onion into the pot. Okay. Then we're going to get garlic. And I said, what did I say in the recipe?
So 4 or 5 cloves.
Yeah, whatever you want.
There really is no recipe.
There is, yes, it's in my head. And the one thing is because it's being brought down by so many, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, the recipe is really, really old. And, generations and generations of dealing with, let's just break it up this way, it's easier. And the garlic does not have to be diced. Just stick it in the pot. Just flatten a little bit so it's easier to work with. And I'm crying at the onions. Oh, I hate onions.
Adele asked,
yes.
Is Sicilian sauce different from the other regions?
Yes, every region has their own version of the sauce. Like I'm sure you've heard of the white lasagna, which is a bechamel sauce. So Sicilians don't make a bechamel. And I've been asking, like, aren't you going to top it with a bechamel? No, we don't top anything with bechamel. Every region has a different one. And the secret ingredient is sugar. So Sicilians also use sugar in their sauce. Right? And other regions do not. We're the only ones that do. Oh, I got one more. One more.
Just smack it.
Okay, right. Open it first before I can smack it. Pretty easy. Pretty fun to smack something, right?
Tina asks, will we be able to get recipes online?
Okay, the recipes were sent.
I'm sure if you need it again, you can.
We'll send it again for you. So I got to tweak a few things. So, by the way, I am dicing some celery. In the recipe, there's 2 sticks of celery. It doesn't have to be done beautifully because we're going to just cook. Just think of it as a chicken soup. We're just going to cook it like crazy. Okay? You can just cut it. There's no finesse in it. Just cut it. Okay? That's the celery. So we got the celery, we got the onions, we got the garlic. And also we add a potato. because the potato will make it more. The reason why I added potato is because it's a meatless sauce. And usually you want that some kind of something
Body.
to give it some body and some meaty kind of texture to it. We're not, by the way, these vegetables are not going on lasagna. They're solely just to get to thicken the sauce. Joshua, do you want to show a sauce the way it looks afterwards when we're done? Do you want to show that one while I'm peeling this potato? That's the way the sauce will look after we're done. Okay, it's nice and thick. Okay, and the sauce can be used for anything. I actually freeze it. I put it on fish. I put it on spaghetti. I put it on everything. This kind of meatless sauce. I'm going to just wash my potato. I'm just washing my potato again. And again, just rough cut. Nothing special. Just keep it simple. Okay, and we're good to go. Now we're going to do the carrots. Okay, and what it says about 4 carrots.
Mm-hmm.
I think the carrots are a great way for the soup. I mean, for the sauce. There's a restaurant on Edmonton. I'm not sure if it's still there anymore. It's called Granos. And Grano had the wife of the owner used to make 18 liters of sauce a week. And I sat there going, oh my God, that's a lot of sauce to make every week. Holy moly. So again, I'm just chopping really roughly the carrots. They don't have to be perfect. Again, just think of it as this is the Italian version of a Jewish chicken soup. Very rough, very easy to do. Just clean it up really nicely, your carrots. Make sure there's no bitterness from the skin. And we're going to just put it in. Do a few more.
Remember that none of these things will be actually in the final product, which is why they're all misshapen.
Yeah. Good point there, Joshua. Good point. Okay. That's my third carrot, right?
Yes.
More carrot in. And if you want to keep the peels on the heads and make soup another day, a lot of great chefs keep all their leftovers and they make vegetable soup or vegetable stock.
You do not.
I do not, because I end up forgetting, and then I go, oh, they're in the freezer. So I don't bother anymore. As Joshua has corrected me, like, you should use them. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Nobody has time for that.
I don't have time for that, right? We're busy mummies, we're busy cooking, cleaning, and doing all sorts of wonderful stuff, right? Okay, so we've got the carrots, we've got the celery, we've got the potato, we got the onions, and we got the garlic. We're good to go. Oh, and I forgot the pepper. Okay, so sometimes I add it and sometimes I don't. You can use any colored pepper. It doesn't matter. One suggestion is use quarter pepper. Don't use more than that. The reason why, because the pepper will overtake the sauce, and you're going to taste only pepper in the sauce, which is really not fun to be part of. So just roughly cut and just stick it in the pot. And we're going to take it over to the stove. Okay? And we're going to put what's about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. The olive oil I use, this one I have is the extra virgin President's Choice.
It takes a while.
Right?
Wait, don't do that. Just leave it like that.
Okay. And I like extra virgin olive oil in everything I make. So we buy everything. Kirkland, we buy whatever's on sale. The good stuff that I get from Italy directly, we don't use when we're cooking. That's for garnish, but that's gold. And you're just gonna mix it, okay? And just make sure everything is just being sauteed, okay? I'm gonna put the lid over it just for a minute. Let's get it to a boiling point, okay? And then the spices, I think.
How high is the heat, Mommy?
I put it on high.
Just at first, and then she turns it down.
And then do a turn down later. Let's get it everything.
She's a dangerous chef.
Shh, quiet. And saute everything, right? So I just wanted to mention to you, come over here. So the sauce that we're using, so I like using muti passata. This is actually I buy it at Longo's. This is fantastic in soup and sauces, but that's for actually I'm gonna use that for the minestrone. For today, we're going to be using the Emma. This is the Pomodoro Samarzano. This is the Samarzano tomatoes. They're the best to use in any kind of Italian cooking. So my suggestion is use this, and these are whole tomatoes. So we're going to emulsify them. So I'm going to put them in the bowl.
Let's explain the difference between the San Marzano's and the regular tomatoes. The San Marzano ones are longer and sweeter, whereas the regular ones are like the Unico, for example, that you get in the can, usually the normal ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So usually I would use one of these. This is actually from Sicily, and you basically put the tomatoes in here and you strain it and to basically see how it catches all the seeds. But we're not going to use this today because we don't have time.
And using fresh tomatoes, you usually use this.
Yeah. Right. In the summer, I would use it more. But today we're going to use the emulsifier because someone gave me a best kept secret going, just use the emulsifier. Like, oh, that's fantastic. I love using gadgets. And just be careful because it might explode everywhere. Everything might be saucy. Just emulsify it nicely. You want it smooth, you do not want it chunky. Okay? So you can see what I'm doing. Making sure it's on smooth. And one thing about the San Marzano, there's not a lot of seeds.
I can't hear you.
One thing about San Marzano is there's not a lot of seeds, so it makes it really nice. They're good.
And the reason why she would do this rather than just use a bottled sauce is because it's because these tomatoes are actually like put in a can just fresh out of from like the production facility, so they're actually better kept than if you emulsified tomatoes that are already in the jar.
That's right. Let's saute the vegetables to see what they look like. So we want them to be a little bit softer. Okay. I wonder if we have time to wait for them to be softer.
We're only 15 minutes in.
All right. Yeah, we still have to make the minestrone.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We have like 2 more minutes.
All right. 2 more minutes. And then 2 more minutes. And the second thing we use, in the recipe, is we use the Unico tomato paste. And this will thicken. We use 2 of these. And this will thicken your sauce.
Where'd you get that brand?
Longo's.
So this one from Longo's, this one from Longo's, this one from everywhere.
Yeah, you can get Unico anywhere. I always have paste in my house. But yeah, these ones are from Longo's, and I go there particularly just for this.
And explain the difference between the paste and the tomato.
So paste is concentrated tomato. Really, really, like you can see, it's really concentrated.
Gives it more flavor.
Gives it more flavor. The tomato is a pure tomato. Okay, so that's why we used it. We mix them both. And some people don't even use tomato. So my mom over the years has stopped using the tomato and just use straight paste for everything. I like giving it a little sweetness, so I think the San Marzano tomato sauce is actually better personally. Let's get this back. Okay. Starting slowly, my onions are start softening. And one thing is, when we're going to put this on, you're going to cook the sauce, the whole thing. It takes an hour for it to come to reduce. Okay. So you can see how it's starting to sweat. The onions, the carrots, the pepper, garlic, everything is starting to sweat.
The tomato?
Yeah, we add the tomato. So we're going to add the tomato, all of it. You need, just make sure you scoop everything out. Every last is gold. There's hardly any seeds in the San Marzano. And that's what we want. We don't want seeds in our sauce. That's gross. Okay. We're going to mix that. See how beautiful the color. Gorgeous color. Okay. And then we're going to add this one. Josh is my helper. Then we're gonna get the paste, and we're gonna just spoon it out with a small teaspoon, and just spoon it out. One thing is, whatever's in the little can, you want that. So we're gonna add water to it because we're gonna dilute the sauce. Okay? Otherwise, it's not gonna cook properly. And usually, let's just add this. Do that.
So she's doing, how many are you going to do?
We're supposed to have about, I would say 4 cups of water. This is not a cup. Usually you would do 4 cups of water. I think the recipe is 4 to 6 cups. It depends, but I would say 4 cups of water.
You should probably tell people that you don't usually have this with pasta.
Yeah, you can.
You can't, but you don't.
Yeah, you do. We don't. Because we're snooty. We like the other sauce.
Well, there's different kinds of sauces. There's this kind of sauce with vegetable, and then there's just the pure tomato with spices kind of sauce that you usually would see. So there's different kinds. This one's better for lasagna or baked things because it's more like a vegetable flavor to it.
Yeah, also, it's a thicker, meatier sauce.
Yeah,
you
meatier.
So I'm just cleaning my little cans. I'm just taking up every last bit. You don't want to waste it. And we're going to do that. Beautiful.
So that's 4.
That's 4 little cans. Then I'm going to do a big can of tomato.
It's still on high, by the way.
Yeah, you got to have it on high.
It'll get lower once it starts simmering.
I'm coming back.
Now
So
she's
now,
doing one whole thing of the water.
This is about 2 cups of water. And see how we're just going to reuse it? Beautiful. You want to stir that, Joshua? That's what's a really good. I'll add a little bit more. Okay. And you see that's about 4 cups of water that we've added in here.
Maybe 5.
Now we're going to add the secret ingredient, which is sugar. So add 2. You don't have to, but it just makes it tasty. We're going to put
you added 2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons. You don't want to put some chili flakes in?
You could just put them in whole.
No. There we go. You don't want too spicy.
If you like it spicy, you can add more.
Add
we
more
don't really like spice around.
We're going to add oregano. 2 tablespoons. Was it 2 tablespoons? I think on the recipe, but I just do it by eye.
We do like oregano.
You like oregano. You got to have oregano in your sauce. Otherwise, it's not good. Some black pepper. Let's grind that up.
Add more. That's nothing.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to put some tablespoon of sugar.
Salt.
Sorry, tablespoon of salt. I said salt. Sorry. You say salt or sugar?
She said sugar.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Oops. And we got to add some fresh basil and some fresh parsley over here. So I have yummy fresh basil. And
she went to 2 stores yesterday to go find this.
Because everyone's used, all the Italians are using it up. And we're going to use some fresh parsley.
So that's about a handful each?
Yeah.
Well, maybe less basil.
I can have more basil. You can be as generous as you like with the basil.
Also, your salt in your sauce might be very variable, so you might need to taste later on and add some more. But start with a tablespoon at the beginning, like Mommy did.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Joshua. Okay, so this needs to be simmered for 1 hour before you can put it on the lasagna. Okay, so please take note of that. So we're going to leave it alone.
How much is it going to reduce?
It'll reduce a little bit here.
It'll go to like here,
Yeah.
maybe.
About 2 inches down, but you'll see it. Because you want the thickness.
Yes.
You want a nice, like a ragu kind of thickness, so it really cooks beautifully with the lasagna.
Yeah, Gina, we did add sugar. We added like 2 teaspoons. And then this is what we're looking for, so just for context.
Okay, so now we have the sauce ready to go. So our next thing we have to do is we're doing the minestrone soup. So the first time I've actually written it down because people have been asking me for years how to make minestrone soup. So let me bring my pot over. Okay, pot. So this is a parve soup. Okay. I forgot to make it.
All the soups in this house are parve.
Oh, I'll see. So do a nice onion. So again, same idea.
Not a bad onion. A nice onion.
A nice onion. This one came from Longos. So,
Pick them myself.
yeah, Josh will pick them himself because we like Longos vegetables and fruits because they're nice and fresh. And we know the owners.
Do we?
Yeah. We do. Yeah, no. Went to a vacation with the grandparents. So we're gonna dice it, and this one, okay, we're gonna dice it a little bit more elegantly and as tiny as possible. The reason why, because this soup is not forgiving, and you're gonna be eating this. So, and they're not gonna be pureed; they're in chunks. So you want the minestrone, and I'm sure you all have minestrone. You want it really thinly sliced. I've done it with leeks. It's not the same. I think an onion.
She explained the difference between a leek and an onion when in soups.
Leeks are sweeter
And
right?
softer.
And softer, and the onion holds its form, especially when you're making it into a chunky soup. I'm just going to continue dicing.
We don't puree the soup. The sauce at the end of simmering, because it's just all those juices stay in, and then you just ladle and leave the vegetables inside. You'll see later.
If you want to puree the sauce, you can. In my family, we've never done that. We just throw out the vegetables. We either eat the vegetables or we throw them out. But you don't put them in lasagna. Okay. I'm just going to continue dicing. Continue dicing. Okay, it's pretty good. Okay. Dicing under pressure. Feels like. Okay.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, we're gonna do garlic, right?
Do you want me to do the garlic? It'll probably be faster.
Okay, I'm good. Got time. We're good. How much garlic?
You
2
said.
cloves?
That's it?
Yeah, I don't put a lot of garlic. It's not sauce. It's just
Soup.
soup. I lost my other knife.
Oh, it's over here.
It's okay. I got lots of knives. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Stickers coming out of my hands. So this again, you need to keep it really, really tiny, the garlic. So if you have a garlic press, I always forget to buy myself one. All these years, I don't have a garlic press. Use a garlic press. They're lovely. One thing is, in the soup, just keep the garlic fresh. You can use the frozen garlic if you like. I really believe in the Italian ingredients, everything has to be fresh. Your basil, your garlic, your onions. Don't take it from a jar. Like, just keep it fresh.
Adele's asking if the tomatoes are different in Italy.
Yes, they taste better. It's like when you go to Israel. Doesn't everything taste better there?
But honestly, if you grow it from here, it's just a cultural thing there. Everyone has a garden in it. Well, not everyone, but people.
Also, the tomatoes taste so much fresher and so incredible. Because remember, when you're trying to grow something here, the climate's not the same. We don't have an arid climate, right? We don't have like our tomatoes in Canada do not grow like they do in Italy.
That's why the jarred ones are.
That's
fun.
why I would buy a lot of Italian tomatoes. I don't buy Canadian tomatoes. But did you guys know that our flour is so renowned in Italy? They're actually saying that they call it the Manitoba flour. It's so well known that they look for it all the time. We're gonna do celery now, and I'm just gonna chop some celery. And again, the celery is gonna be really nicely cut.
Tell them why you're nicely cutting everything.
Because
you're not going to puree it.
I'm not pureeing the minestrone soup. And we're gonna do it.
Usually when we make soups in this house, we don't worry about the cuts because we just puree everything.
No, because you like it puree.
Yes, but the minestrone is different.
No, you gotta have it just. Oh, anyways, so the Manitoba flour, they make all their bread with the Manitoba. We love Canadian flour. So my mom, way back when, she used to bring flour and sugar to my aunts because they absolutely love our flour and sugar. But we will bring back tomatoes and olives. Just like when you bring back spices from Israel. Why? Spices are fantastic. Getting someone else to come and smuggle me some more spices. That's the best way to do it, right? But no one's traveling right now. Oh. Okay, so I'm still dicing the celery, just so. Okay, see how nicely it looks. Very fresh. Oh, and by the way, don't use frozen vegetables. The only thing I use frozen are peas for this soup. If you try to use frozen, unless you absolutely have no choice, that's fine, but please don't use frozen vegetables with the soup. Okay, we're gonna do that. Oh,
What?
I was thinking.
You should turn down the soup. So now we got the simmering.
Simmering, you want to show you the simmering? We want to bring it down to like a 5.
Yes, we're gonna bring it down to medium-high heat. It's a 5-ish, yeah. Okay. Now she's coming. You're gonna stir. You don't have to stir all the time, but usually in the Italian tradition, the pots go like this on the top. Why? We don't know.
So let the air out, Joshua.
I know. Why don't you just leave it uncovered?
No. It doesn't cook evenly either.
Okay, so you finish your celery.
I finished out under the carrots.
How many carrots are you doing?
I think it's 6.
2 carrots, you said.
2 carrots? Yeah, you can have 3 carrots too. Depends how big your carrots are, by the way. And again, we're going to just dice. This is one of the easiest soups that I make. And what it makes it is the sauce. By the way, I do not use a bouillon. You can use a bouillon with this one. I don't use bouillon. I don't use chicken stock or vegetable stock. You can if you like to bring it to a different level. Keep it simple. And one thing is I never grew up with a minestrone soup. I learned how to make it as an adult because my mom never liked it. So she never made it. Things that we learn as we go, why didn't you ever make that? I didn't like it. So as Josh was saying, really? Yeah, she never bothered making it.
And tell them, explain when you would use a bouillon or stock.
Sorry?
Explain when you would use bouillon or stock.
Well, you could use a bouillon to give it more flavor to a minestrone soup or to a regular soup. But I find this soup, because of the sauce, because of the ever since I found the muti tomato passata, it has such an incredible flavor from Italy. Like, it's just amazing. I can't, I don't want to destroy that soup. That's sauce. Okay. What are you sharing?
I'm just reading it.
Are you reading?
Just in case it wasn't product of Italy.
It is a product of Italy. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. The last carrot.
Now, if you're wondering why all our vegetables have jagged edges, that's because our knife is really horrible, but my mother refuses to change it. She's tired. She loves this knife.
I love this knife too much. I will do it. Right. Okay, we're almost done. Okay. One thing about the soup is that you could use butternut squash. You could use other kinds of vegetables because it's very forgiving. I use zucchini and green beans. And believe me, the people that hate green beans and zucchini, I'm telling you, they will eat it. They will like it. If Joshua eats it, everyone else will eat it.
I don't think that's true. I think it's more of a Jenna eats it and everyone else.
Yeah, that's true. Jenna eats it. That's true. You've got a good point. So daughter Jenna eats it, then everyone else should be eating it.
Zucchini is a very useless vegetable in my eyes.
No. It's a great vegetable.
That's because I'm not a middle-aged mother, but when I will be a middle-aged mother, I probably will like zucchini, but who knows?
So
it's an acquired taste. It's like wine.
I'm just going to finish cutting the carrots.
Do you peel your zucchini?
No. I like keeping it whole, especially when it's so beautiful.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful zucchini. Why would you cut it? I mean, why would you peel it? If it's really bad, that's in bad state, you're buying it at a certain discount, or it's just all they had at the store, it's fine. But other than that, I don't. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use a whole zucchini. Half a zucchini is enough. Just dice it really small. There we go. Notice that the celery, I don't use the leaf. I'll keep it for soup because it's not that great in a minestrone soup. You don't want that kind of leaf in here. Like, for example, I don't even use parsley in here. Okay, I think I'm going to use another one. It looks like I need another one. So I'm going to add another. What is it? Okay. Zucchini done. Now we're going to do green beans. And by the way, the peas, the frozen peas, I add them once I've added all the water. We're going to add the peas. We don't add the peas ahead of time because they're frozen. There's no point to do it. The green beans, you don't need a lot, just a little bit. Just, try to keep them as uniform as possible. And try to cut their ends off when you see them, because you don't want them in your soup. It's really gross when you have soup and floating in your soup. Ew.
What else could you put in the soup if you're not going to put these things? Besides the carrots and the celery and the onions.
You could use, if you like the taste of butternut squash, I've seen that done before. Or just don't bother. Don't bother adding them if you don't like it. If you don't like these vegetables, just omit them. The soup will be so fantastic. I just like a really hearty one. You could also add, oh, by the way, you could add a regular potato if you like to the soup, because potatoes are really good. We're not going to do it today, but we can add a potato to it.
Yes, we don't add the celery tops into the minestrone.
No, save that for chicken soup. Okay, so you see how nice and how colorful that looks? Beautiful. Because we want that color. So let's take it over to the stove. And again, 4 tablespoons of olive oil.
Good amount. We have a slow drippy.
We have a slow drippy. It's okay. I think we're good for time. It is 7:36. Okay, you got time. Okay. And we're just going to turn off the oven. Okay. And we're just going to generously move everything around. And we want to saute and we want to sweat the vegetables. Usually I like sweating the vegetables for a good 5, 6, 7 minutes easily. So let's sweat and let's start talking about the lasagna while this sweats. Okay. And with this, we're going to add the passata. Okay. We're going to add some basil to it. We're going to add some sugar and spices. Very similar to the sauce, actually. But this one, we're going to be putting thyme in the soup. I mean, in the sauce. Anyways, yeah.
Soup.
My mind is going crazy today. Okay. So lasagna. Let's talk about the lasagna. So you can make the exact same recipe gluten-free. So you can use grandma's lasagna risotto or tequeñada. These are all great, and you would pre-cook them because it's your oven ready. Because the gluten-free is a little awkward, I would blanch them under water and use them. But I have used.
What does the box say for how long it should cook for?
What do you mean?
How long would you cook these for before you put them on the using?
No, you just blanch them with one boil.
Okay.
Because they're already oven ready. Okay. So we're going to be using the checo kosher. These are egg noodles. They're fantastic. These are ready to be baked. I never pre-cook them. I just put them right in the pan, and I make as many layers as I like. And we're going to do a really simple one. We're going to do with lasagna. We're going to be doing just a cheese lasagna. You can change that and not add the cheese to it. You can use vegetables as your layers, but at least you have a base. This is going to be a plain cheese lasagna, and it's going to go to the Pasquas. Sharon Pasquas is going to get this lasagna when I'm done. The older one. So she'll get it on Wednesday. So we're going to keep sweating. There we go. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Look at the colors. Isn't that nice? Oh, and with the soup at the end of the soup, when you cook it for 1 hour, you're going to add kidney beans. Kidney beans or navy beans, whatever beans you like. That's what gives you the protein to the soup. And you're going to drain it, get rid of all the liquid, rinse it because you don't want that citric acid on it. And then you're going to put it when the soup is almost done, like an hour, you put that in. Another tip is the pasta. I always make the pasta separately. Rotini, whatever elbow, whatever pasta you like. My suggestion is do the pasta separately, just like you would do chicken soup. Don't add the pasta to the soup, because you'll have like people who are gluten intolerant or people who are on diet, they can have carbs. And then I would just keep the pasta separately, and when you're warming up or when you're serving it, put the pasta in your bowl and just ladle the soup into your bowl. Okay, I've been doing that for years, and at least you don't, as they say, you don't pollute the soup with the carbs, so people are upset that you've done that. Okay, so we keep sauteing it. Gives you a few more minutes. Okay, so let's start making the lasagna. So this one, which is absolutely one of my favorite, is ricotta. Notice that all my products are tre stelle. So they're all kosher, they're all great, fantastic product. The only thing is I can't get tre stelle is the Parmesan cheese that has to be kosher. So I get the one, where's this from?
Haolam.
Halal, yeah, is this
So
from
haolam.
Haolam?
Yeah.
Let me see.
It is.
The haolam cheese, there you go. Mm. So I got that Metro has it. And I use butter. So we have an argument in my family. No one uses butter except for me.
Oh, the other siblings you mean.
I like butter in my lasagna. I find it gives it a little taste. So again, this is optional, but I think it's a necessity.
And what kind of ricotta are you using? Cheese?
Oh, tre stelle.
No, I know, but...
Oh, traditional. Okay. You can use the one that's less fat.
Or the one that's mushy.
Or the
this one's the crumbly one.
No, it's not crumbly. This is nice and thick.
Yeah, but it's like...
You want it thick.
I know, but just explain that you're using the thicky one.
I use the thicky one because I want a traditional. I want that consistency. The skim milk, you can do it. I just find it, I don't know why, it just doesn't taste the same as watery. But if you need to do low cal, yes, do the low cal one. So what I do is I actually put a little bit of water in the bowl. Can you notice that? And when I add the ricotta, you're going to add the whole ricotta. Like I can eat the whole tub. It's so good. So you need to cream the ricotta. Okay?
Do you want a whisk?
No, I'm going to use a fork. Old-fashioned forks.
Mommy doesn't use whisks.
No, use a fork. So just fork and just mix the water. It might need a little bit more, so add more water. Right? So she's going to show the water. And this is a tip. Cream the ricotta. Okay?
It has to be soft, though.
So it becomes nice and soft and creamy. See? And you can use this for pastry. You can bake with it. Ricotta is amazing. Like we make everything with ricotta. Right? I gotta go watch the vegetables. Josh is reminding me. Oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. We have sweating happening. Oh, fabulous. Okay. So now is the time to make. I put the whole jar in. Okay. And usually you need about 8 glasses of water.
So how many liters is in there?
I don't know.
600. So that's like 2.5, 3 cups for 1 jar.
So put water in your thing because you want to use up all the tomato. Don't let it go to waste. Use all of it. You want to mix up the sauce? Okay. So we're gonna add it, and I just added water to the jar.
You're probably gonna do 1 more?
No, we're good.
That's it?
No, I'm gonna add more. So one other suggestion is to keep the cooking consistent. I add 2 cups of boiling water.
So she adds 2.5, 3 cups, or just the entirety of the tomato container, and then she adds another 2 cups of water.
So it's about 8 cups of water.
And so, yes, all in all, it'll be between 6 to 8 cups.
No, 8 cups.
For 8 cups. Because remember, when you put lots and lots of water, it reduces over the course of the hour. It's just like the sauce, but better.
Beautiful. So we're going to add our chili flakes.
You don't have very much. It's like nothing.
You don't want it spicy, Joshua. Okay, I'm gonna add my, okay, this is the secret we do sugar, okay? Teaspoon of sugar. I'm gonna add my oregano. So it's so innovative, right? Oregano, teaspoon of oregano. I'm just shaking it in, sorry. And in this recipe, it's thyme, with a teaspoon of thyme.
That's
Yeah, that's thyme.
looks different.
Yeah. And then we're gonna put some black pepper in it. Say when.
I don't know.
Okay. And I'm gonna add a tablespoon of salt. I said salt, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
See, that should be fine. But
And we're gonna add some basil leaves to it. Joshua, excuse me. So let's add some basil. And we're just gonna tear it up. This is the only thing, you gotta have basil in a minestrone, I'm sorry. It's just fantastic. Do you notice how beautiful the colors are? You can see the colors in the tomato. So Italians use a lot of tomato. The Portuguese use, what do they use? They use a lot of pepper paste, and we use a lot of tomato. So we're gonna use, add peas. I'm gonna cut the peas. Okay.
oh, so you can also add mushrooms to this.
You can add mushrooms to it too, yes. I just find, just keep it with the zucchini, green beans, potato. You can see how nice, how pretty the peas look. So peas are very Sicilian, and you'll notice they have that Moroccan influence. So if you're, you know, have had Moroccan cuisine, Sicilians, which is Southern Sicilians, my family's from the South, they put peas in everything. And so it's a lovely, lovely dish. So there we go. So this is going to cook for about an hour. It's going to reduce.
It's going to reduce by like a half.
Yeah. So and this pot, by the way, this is a really big pot. It's double the pot of the other one. So we're just going to close it up and keep it on high until it goes, until it bubbles up. And
This one's going.
And this one is, let's look and see where this is at. Good. Let's just stir it. You don't have to stir it all the time, by the way. It's pretty forgiving.
We should do the lasagna.
We're going to do the lasagna. Let's go. Choose a copy. Okay. The lasagna. Okay. Now, if you notice that, okay, let me get my sauce. So thank goodness I pre-made a batch ahead of time. We're going to freeze this. Oh, I'll make this with, this is really good, by the way, with sole. Okay. And for some reason, I would drain this, but there's no time to drain it. But I'm going to put it like this, right?
You can drain it.
I can drain it. So at the bottom, always put your sauce at the bottom, okay? One thing is it's good to use sauce that's room temperature or warm, so that the lasagna starts getting a little bit soft. So we're gonna just put it down. See how nicely it goes and fits in beautifully?
Almost.
Almost beautifully. So I'm gonna put the ricotta. Okay, dollop, 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 and then just smooth it out. This is the best part. Some people don't like it. They don't, once it's cooked, they don't even know it's even there. Okay. Just dollop, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. We're gonna add some butter.
I'm one of the people that doesn't like it.
What's the butter?
No, the ricotta.
I know. It's so tasty. So we're just gonna put a couple of little tidbits. One thing is lasagna is very forgiving. Not too much, just a little bit of butter to make it more creamy and more tasty. Okay. And we're gonna put some mozzarella on top.
Well, you can use other cheese if you want.
Oh, by the way, you can use other cheese if you want. I just find that when I use anything else, I guess that's just the Italian in me. I do not like it at all. It has to have a mozzarella cheese. Okay, and we're going to add, so add as much sauce as you can. Okay, I should have made it ahead of time, but I
we can do it
plan.
now.
So there's no time now. Oh, I see a carrot. Don't want a carrot in there. Now, we're going to smooth this out. See how I'm smoothing it out? There we go. We're going to cover it nicely. Beautiful. So Parmigiano, You can add the Parmigiano as we go along. Remember, this is a little bit salty. You are not adding any salt or pepper in between because the sauce has all your condiments, okay? So you don't need to add anything else. So we do lasagna. The one thing with lasagna I've learned is that if you actually cross over at one point, the structure of the lasagna can be better. So I find that you just cross over a little bit. And there we go. Beautiful. So we're going to add the ricotta. And my suggestion is 5 layers. Okay? You can even do 7. Because the pans can do 7, right? So I'm just doing this really quickly because how much time do we have? Oh, we've got 12 minutes. Making all this food. I was hoping to squeeze in a dessert, but we're not going to have time.
Can I have more though?
We're not going to have time to make dessert.
No, I meant the ricotta.
Yeah, I know. Already got that. Very good. Mozzarella. And mozzarella.
Do you have enough?
Yep. I have another jar. I have another, whatchamacallit. And let's add more sauce. Here, use my fingers. But they're clean.
You need to have fingers.
No,
If
but
you didn't have fingers, then you wouldn't be alive.
you're so funny. Okay. We're gonna put the sauce in. Okay. Now we're gonna spread the sauce. Oh, I forgot the butter.
You can add it.
The butter.
You can add it now.
I add it now. Okay.
It's right there.
I'll use this one. I'll dairy anyways. Okay. Butter. Butter. I love butter. Okay. So let's do it this way. Usually 1 box is enough for 1 lasagna. But I find that when you have all the ingredients, make 2. But the sauce might not be enough for 2. It might be enough for 1 lasagna. Okay, you might double the recipe if you want a really big batch. Okay. So put the ricotta again. And by the way, if you cook it, you can freeze this lasagna. It's delicious frozen. And by the way, the next day it tastes even better.
All these things taste better.
Yeah. Even the soup, by the way, the next day tastes so much better. You're gonna make it the same day. My suggestion is pre-make everything and then warm it up the next day. It's just easier that way. Okay. Mozzarella. We're gonna have to grate more mozzarella.
Here, wait.
Here we go. Let's see this. Can you see me?
No, yeah, they can see you.
You're gonna grate more mozzarella for me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm adding butter again. Very generously. Because I like butter. The only time that, I guess when you're making a cheese lasagna, is the only time that you can really add all the stuff that's really good for you. You can do low-cal if you like. You cannot have to add butter to it. But I find that if you're gonna have lasagna, just have it. Enjoy it. We're so constrained diets and everything, unless you've got blood pressure issues, etc. That's a different conversation. I totally understand that. But just have the lasagna. Just enjoy it. Okay. We're just gonna finish putting it on the sauce. Okay. It looks really messy, but it's not. It's all going to cook beautifully together. Okay. And we're going to add, again, we're just crisscrossing it again. Can you see? And hopefully you can see what I'm doing.
I'll show them in a second.
Okay. And we'll see what I'm doing. If you can see, can you see?
I'll do it.
I think so. My hands are doing that. I gotta wash my hands now. I'll touch the phone.
She's washing her hands.
Okay. There we go. More to go then. Oh, how many layers is that? That's about,
That was the 4th, I think.
that's the 4th layer. We're gonna do 5. The ricotta is enough for 5 layers beautifully. So this is the 4th layer. And the 5th layer will be the last one. You don't need ricotta on the 5th layer. Okay?
Here's the rest of it.
Yeah, this is a good idea. I don't get to eat any. I'll lick the bowl later. That's for me licking the bowl. Okay. It looks kind of messy.
Tastes good.
But it tastes really good. And it's delicious. And the last time I made this, as my daughter Jenna said to me, it's the best lasagna you have ever made. I'm like, oh, wow. I was shocked. So one thing I forgot to put Parmesan in between.
You did.
Oh, let's add some now. So we're gonna grate some.
You know, why do you put the Parmesan?
Because to add another flavor, another layer of decadence, I would say.
Decadence. Maybe we have to turn down the stove.
Okay.
I'm just turning down the soup.
Show them the soup, Joshua.
See, now it's on a 5, and it will stay like that for the rest of the time.
Back to the lasagna.
She left a. There we go.
Come back.
She's coming.
Okay. There's a little bit of basil there. That's okay. It's getting hot in the kitchen, but the kitchen smells really good. Wish you guys could be here. Okay. Now we're going to finish it off. We're going to put it this way. There we go. This is the last layer. Beautiful. By the way, I use parchment paper so that the aluminum foil doesn't get into the lasagna. Okay? I don't like that taste of aluminum on my lasagna. It's really gross, right? So we're going to put sauce now. And then we're going to put cheese at the end. We're going to finish it off. Okay? Maybe you notice I'm being just, you can be generous. Because one thing is the sheets haven't been cooked yet, right? Even though they're oven ready. Just make sure everything's covered beautifully. Okay. And we're going to add whatever mozzarella we have left. Beautiful. And this is one whole ball. If you guys want more cheese, add more cheese. Whatever makes you happy. You can add as much cheese as you want. But for me, I find that this is enough because it's going to be a really cheesy lasagna once you're done. Okay? Let me add some butter. I forgot to add butter again. Oh. It's okay. Just add butter a little bit on top. Okay. You wash your hands again. We're going to add some Parmesan on top. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. And you're going to put it in the oven at 400 for about, I would say 45 minutes. I would take a look at it to see what it's at. And the last 15 minutes depends how crispy you want your topping. If you want your topping really crispy, I would take the foil paper off personally, right? You would add foil to it. So when you're adding foil to it, be careful. You don't want the lasagna to touch the foil because the tomato will eat the foil. So when you're covering it, got 4 minutes left. Just cover it just so, loosely. Okay. And you pop it in the oven, and it should cook for 1 hour. Okay. And we have it at 400, but for 45 minutes, it's still cold, the oven, but just letting you know that you would do it. So let's recap. So the sauce is ready to go. So for your world, because if you were following, you can almost use the sauce because it's almost all. See how it's reduced? You can see how it's reduced down. It's beautiful. This is how you'd like it to have
2 more
it.
minutes.
Right? 2 more minutes, I would say. But it's a really nice, but my other one was really, we just spoiled too much. And then the soup, if you look at the soup, see how it's cooked beautifully? Okay. It's boiling nicely. And within that hour, you would add the can of beans.
At the end.
At the end of the hour. Or one thing is, after you've cooked the soup for 1 hour and you've added the beans to them, please cook for another 30 minutes. Right? Yeah. I would cook for another 30 minutes. Again, it depends on your soup.
It depends on your stove and your soup.
On your stove and how hot it is. I know for me, I cook it for another half an hour on simmer low, just to get the flavors of the beans with the soup.
If it looks too thick, you add water.
I would add water if it's too thick, right? Or in that case, you would add a bouillon. Just in case. Yeah, you add a bouillon. We can talk about it later. I would add a little bit of bouillon to make it nice, right? So let's do that. So, and I will keep the sauce at 5, and we're good to go. So, any questions? Because we've done everything. The sauce, we've done the minestrone, we've done the lasagna. Any questions before we wrap up? Because we got 1 minute.
The lasagna is at 400.
We also had a question, what dessert were you going to make?
You're on mute.
You're muted. Say it again. Say it again.
Can't hear you.
Sure. Mascarpone is a.
No, say the whole thing again.
It's called a tiramisu. And tiramisu is mascarpone cheese with ladyfingers and Kahlua. It's really good.
And also just the lasagna at 400. Wait, there was a question. Let me go back to it. Oh yes, you can't, like Mommy said earlier, you can put it in the fridge and have it the next day.
Yes.
Yes, it's better the next day.
It's better the next day.
There was another question.
We always pre-make the lasagna.
What's the food?
Can you put it, hold on, wait, can you put it in the fridge before you cook it?
Yes. Yes, you've done that.
Or are you
before.
supposed to cook it and then put it in the fridge?
You could do
I would cook it, always cook it, and then put it in the fridge.
But she has done the other way.
I have done it the other way. I prefer cooking it because it sits and everything is just really saucy and juicy. And then the next morning, when you're making dinner the next day or lunch, it's perfect. And also, you need to bring the lasagna up to room temperature if you're going to reheat it. The lasagna can't be stone cold from the fridge to the oven. It has to come to room temperature.
You don't have your own tiramisu recipe, do you?
Yeah, I had it somewhere.
Oh, it's somewhere.
I can find it. Why, do they need it?
Somebody was asking.
I can find it.
Okay. What's a food mill? I don't know.
What's a food mill?
I don't know. Somebody
The thing
asked.
you did with the tomatoes, your
Yeah.
little roundy thing.
Oh, that? Is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yeah.
The food
No, the other thing.
No, the other thing. Yes.
What is this called in Italian?
This is called Strigi Pomodoro.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
I got it from Sicily.
You can get it here, Carla. You can get it here. I have it from here.
Where can you get it from? I have no idea. This is from Italy.
You can get it from the kitchen store
Longo's?
on Orphus. No, you know the kitchen store on Orphus? I forgot the name.
Yes. Do they still
Okay.
have it?
I make it with potatoes, not with, you know.
Oh, here, potatoes.
If you
I
want
use it for applesauce.
Yeah, you can make applesauce with it too.
That's right.
That's a great idea. No, I just use it for tomatoes.
In our house, it's known as the tomato thing.
The tomato thing.
Very nice.
Okay. Anything else?
Are we good?
Carla,
Yes.
before you leave, we want to thank you so much, especially for all the tips. The demonstration was amazing, really. The hour went by like so quickly. It was
I know.
incredible. We can't
Thank you so
enough,
much, everybody.
and we'll definitely do it. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Say thank you to Joshua.
Thank
for being
you.
My
Thank you.
cameraman.
Thank you. Thanks.